I arrived a few minutes ahead of Lisette, my wife of 5 years. The wait for the reservation gadget to buzz in my hand took only a few minutes. There were plenty of tables available, but I think they were understaffed. Lisette texted that she had a few more spreadsheets to finish, but she was on her way. We met at a fraternity party and married shortly after graduation. We both survived the challenges of the pandemic, although I had my hours cut back. Plans to have children were put on hold until this madness was over. After placing my drink order, I perused the menu. Why? I don't know, since I always order the same thing. As I sat there, I heard a man's voice. Spencer? Although the couple seated in the next booth seemed familiar, I didn't immediately orient myself. I felt awkward extending my hand for a handshake, and he obviously understood my predicament. James Borden and my wife, Sharon. Borden and Waters. Of course. My apologies. Out of context, I just couldn't remember you, and I shook his hand and also gently shook the woman's hand. It's not a problem. I doubt we've met more than a few times. Are you here alone? Temporarily. I'm waiting for Lisette. She just texted that she has some more spreadsheets to finish, but she's on her way. You're keeping her pretty busy. Well, if you're on a romantic date, we can bow out, as I'm sure sitting next to the owner of the company she works for might disrupt the romance. No, please stay. Tonight it was my turn to cook and I didn't have time. So on nights like this, we eat dinner out of the house. My wife and I can cross over if you're having a romantic evening. Sharon sat down at the table. I don't think so. They're very few and they don't happen very often, do they, darling? Now it was James's turn to grimace as he calmly replied, This is neither the time nor the place, darling. There's Lisette. Lisette looked shocked. Mr. Borden, are you here? My wife and I are dining here. I could ask you the same question. Well, I am. With my husband. Spencer, you remember the Bordens? James and Sharon. Hi, Sharon. I apologize for my manners. I confirmed. Yes, we're in touch. Lisette's face and eyes contorted in a way I'd never seen before. James became curious. So you've been spending time working on spreadsheets? Spencer made it sound like she was working overtime. Now I looked at Lisette curiously. She was clicking her heels like she was trying to get back to Kansas. Lisette started to sweat and turned slightly pink. Well, that was an outright lie since I was actually shopping. Lisette slid into our booth and sat across from me. Sharon reached into her bag and pulled out a folder, which she held out to James. As James slid the folder towards me, he stared at Lisette. Was that another? What did you call it? Pure lie. He continued. More like you were spreading your legs for Cody Williams, weren't you, Lisette? My mind turned into a mishmash of panic, rage, shock, and confusion. I couldn't help myself. What on earth have you been up to? When Lisette tried to stand up, Sharon put her hand on her shoulder, steadying her in her seat. James took a very businesslike tone. Cody works as a designer. He, like your wife, is already unemployed. I apologize, Spencer, for taking this out on you. The file in your hands is a private investigator's report, including photos taken an hour ago. Sharon and I learned from him that this is where you were planning to meet for dinner tonight. Lisette, I'm very disappointed in this, as I had high hopes for you. However, I can't risk the success of my company on people who can't be trusted. Why don't we order something, Sharon? Spencer, I'll pay for your dinner if you want to eat. I'm turning to James. Thanks, but I think I've lost my appetite. I've been throwing up. Lisette's face contorted even more as she fought back tears. She spoke in a shaky voice. I'm sorry, Spencer. I was stupid. An absolute idiot. Mr. Borden, I understand your position. Spencer, can we go home now? Lisette, I think I'm going to stay at the motel tonight and go over this report. If it's as bad as it looks, I'm moving out.